And that was a personal challenge to me because I took over from Farid Kimani, and the first 2 years, every day the only messages I received was, "Oh my God, this guy is so boring. Why are you on this show? Can we just play music? We miss Farid. Bring back Farid. Nini." But I was just like, one day you guys are gonna be like, "This is a dope show."
Yeah. I just want to say I'm grateful. That's right. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with me, and for that I want to say I'm grateful. That's right.
Yo, what is good? What is happening? Welcome back to David CTV. Now, this is Unplugged Season 3, Episode 6. I am Dave the MC, and today I have a very special guest here with me, radio host, show host on MTV, and he's also an actor. Yeah. He goes by the name Mr. Nick Ndeda. Although, let's clear up something. There are two Nick Ndedas.
Mm-hmm.
And you met your... What's the name?
I think it's namesake.
Your namesake.
Yeah.
You mentioned namesake the other time. Like, how did that come about?
It was because of people on social media. I was getting tagged on everything with Betty, and I'm just like, no, not me. It's the other Nick.
Yeah.
And then I didn't know he had a podcast, so he hit me up and was like, "Yo, would you like to come to my podcast?" And I was just like, "Nick Ndeda interviewing Nick Ndeda? Yes." Sold. And he's such a cool dude.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I thought we even joked to each other that it's cool that both Nick Ndedas are cool people.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I know I'm cool. And he's like, I know I'm cool. But when we sat down and we talked, I was like, the vibe was right. It was
really good.
Yeah.
So how did you getting into radio start?
Radio was completely by accident. A little bit by accident. I remember as a kid, I used to do this random thing where I'd record songs on tapes.
Yeah.
And then when I'm playing them back, I would pretend I'm a presenter, like, "Oh, that was Tupac, All Eyes on Me. Coming up next is Biggie." And then I played, like, I just did it for fun.
Yeah.
Fast forward to, because I was about 9 years old at that time, fast forward to when I'm 21, my elder brother tells me there's an audition for a radio station called Homeboys. He wants to go and try out. I'm like, "You should. You're a very charismatic, you talk a lot," like that's his nature. So I took him for the audition, and then we stood out in the heat for 3 hours. 3 hours later, my brother walks in to go audition. I turn around, I'm like, "Let me go." This lady who was facilitating the thing, she's like, "Why don't you try it out?" And I'm like, "No, I was taking my bro." And she's like, "Listen, you've been standing outside in the heat for 3 hours. This audition is 30 seconds and it's in a room with AC. Come on, what do you have to lose?" I never forgot that phrase. I was like, "Yeah, what do I have to lose?" Went in, did the thing. It was a Saturday morning. Yeah. Monday afternoon, I'm in class. I get a phone call from DJ John. It's like, "We liked your audition. We want you to come through. Let's train you so you can be a presenter." And I was like, "Wow, okay, let's try it out." But I fell in love with it. That was the thing. Like, the stuff I was doing as a kid, that taping thing and making mock shows, it came in such handy because I really picked up on everything about presenting so fast that I literally attribute that to the reason why I became so good in radio so fast and had a really great career.
Because I remember listening to you like on Homeboys, and I think maybe that was after the first year you were there. Like enjoying, well, I listened to Homeboys in general, but I'd enjoy what you were doing. How was your experience like on radio? Because I know it's not all good. Like, I'm sure there's other things you just found you was like.
Yeah, there are a couple of things that shocked me. One of the biggest shockers, which I think a lot of Kenyans maybe have when it comes to radio presenters, are like, "Oh my God, these guys get paid so much money and all they have to do is walk in and just talk about random things." I didn't know about all the prep work you have to do for a show, all the stuff that you have to make sure you know you're going to be talking about like hours before you do the show. So that was like, oh my God, this is actually stuff that it's not random.
Yeah.
People think that radio presenters are just random, which I think is a cool trait. That we're able to prepare stuff but deliver it like it's just top of our heads. So that was a really cool thing. I think being an actor really helped me with that. The thing I think I disliked the most was just there's this mentality that goes around with radio presenters. Like if you're a guy, you should be loud, you should be controversial, you should be a drinker. Like if you're not any of those, you're never going to become a popular male radio presenter. If you're female, you always have to be combative. And it's because there are certain presenters who made a name for themselves like that. And it's perfectly understandable, but at the very essence of it, a radio personality is a radio personality because of their personality. You're drawn to who they are. Because music, you can get music anywhere. Yeah. You literally can, especially nowadays. So I'm like, if someone is taking the time to tune into a radio show, it's because they mess with you. They're like, I like the way this person thinks. Yeah. So for me, it was always a battle because I was a very chill. I don't talk about controversy. In fact, as a rule, I never used to talk about relationships on radio. Because during training, I was told the easiest topic, like if you just want to coast through a radio show, just put on the mic and be like, men are dogs, Cindy. And everyone will be calling, no, they're not. Yes, they are. There's literally no work you have to do. So I was always like, okay, what else can I talk about? Let's talk about health. Let's talk about philosophy. I did some shows where I would talk about some philosophy shit, and I was being told, like, dude, okay, a little too deep. It's just, it's a rock show. Come on. Yeah. Play some rock music, say some light stuff. Mm-hmm. So I found, for me, my niche was talking about politics, human interest stories, because I've always just been I gravitated towards that a lot. So it came out very well, and I do a lot of prep. My 4-hour radio show, I think I was literally the only presenter who used to prep for it for 4 hours. Like, I would give legit, and this is a morning show. Yeah. This is a show that starts at like 7 a.m. Yeah. 6 a.m. Yeah. I would literally prep for my 4-hour morning show for 4 hours, but I'd split it into 2 hours. I'd do 2 hours after the show. Like if I'm doing a show on Monday, show ends at 10 in the morning, I spend 10 to 12 prepping for Tuesday's show. Tuesday morning, I wake up at 3 a.m. I start prepping from 4 to 6, and then the show starts at 6, and then it runs. And I did that for like 7 years, and that was cool. And also just working in different stations. At least I had the privilege of being like 5. Was I in 5? Yeah, Homeboys, Hot 96, Kiss Classic. It's 5 stations in a span of 13 years. So that gave me a lot of experience too, working on, because there were different genre stations. Homeboys was all about hip hop, Hot 96 was 90s based, XFM was rock, and guys were like, how do you transition through all this? I'm like, well, because I get the fundamental of it. It's about the personality, it's not about the music. Yeah, so that's, I put in a lot of work for that. So I never had a lot of downtimes. Most of it was just pretty fun. Well, it was fun for me. I think my shows were cool. So.
No, they were. Yeah, that's XFM one particularly.
Yes. And that was a personal challenge to me because I took over from Farid Kimani, and the first 2 years, every day the only messages I received was, oh my God, this guy is so boring. Why are you on this show? Can we just play music? We miss Farid. Bring back Farid. But I was just like, one day you guys are gonna be like, this is a dope show. And both times I won Best Radio Presenter, it was for the XFM show. 2014, 2019. So I was like, yes. I proved it to myself and I proved it to them.
So what made you, so you did that length of time, that many radio station. Did it start to get boring, or maybe you told yourself, I need a new challenge, which is why you left radio?
Each station had its own, I'd say, mission. Because since at first I was like, I got into radio by accident. I told myself, okay, you need to have a goal. Yeah. What do you want to achieve? And we were all asked, what do you want to do? And I remember telling them, I think I'd like to be a breakfast show presenter on a rock station. At this time, there was no rock station in Kenya, so they just thought I was crazy. So when I was at Homeboys, I wanted to, my first shift was 10 p.m. to midnight on a Saturday, 1 week show. And I was like, no, I want to do a daily show. That was the goal at Homeboys. I ended up creating and hosting 124 for like 3 years. And after that, I was like, well, I really want to do breakfast radio. But I knew that I couldn't get it at Homeboys because G Money was there. And it was very clear that he was going to be there for a while. So I was like, oh, well, somehow randomly I get a phone call from this other station and they're like, do you want to come through? Not the breakfast show, but I was like, maybe I can make it into breakfast from there because I was coming in to do a drive show at Hot 96. I did that drive show for like 6 months and then I was bumped to breakfast. So I was like, yes, now I'm doing breakfast radio. But I was like, but it's not breakfast in a rock station. But at that time, XFM was in existence. So I remember setting out the intention like, I have to end up on this station. I don't know how, but I will make sure that I end up there. And then I was called to KISS. And the reason I went was because I was like, the same company. This is the same company that has XFM. All I have to do is get in, work my way into XFM, which I did. I got in KISS doing a weekend shift on Saturdays and Sundays. And then XFM, one of the drive presenters left. So now I went to XFM, but I was doing the drive show. I did the drive show again, like 5-6 months. Farid leaves, the breakfast show is all open. I was like, go for it. But just before I went for it, I was pushed to Classic. Classic 105, playing all this old school music. And I was really good at it because I know a lot of music, especially music from the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. I know a lot of it. Problem with Classic was everyone said, the listeners anyway, they all said, this dude sounds too young. Like, you might know this music, so you're probably just Googling this stuff when the songs are playing. Yeah, so they respectfully said, yeah, this is not going to work for you. Just take him back to XFM. And that's when Farid left and I just got in, did breakfast show, up until when they shut down the station. And then I moved back to KISS. And when I was at KISS, that is, I won't say it was boring. It wasn't, the show wasn't challenging. I was so used to doing a breakfast show that when I was moved to doing a drive show, it wasn't really a demotion, but it felt like it for me. Because I'd done breakfast for like 7 years. Especially breakfast in a station that I loved and I'd proven myself to be really good at it. I was even training presenters at that point. So when I went to KISS, it was just okay. It didn't feel as challenging. Then I was just like, okay, then why don't you just not do it? And I do have so many other things that I do on the side for acting, writing, so I wasn't like, I was just going to leave it and be like, let's see where the world takes me. It was more of, I need to embrace more of the acting, because when I was on radio, I missed out on a lot of acting opportunities. Because, you have to shoot from morning to night sometimes, and then you're telling them, I can only shoot from like 11 in the morning. They're like, we cannot sit and wait for you until 11 a.m. When I was doing Selena, it was problematic. One time I literally had to fake being sick on radio so that I could shoot all day, because they were like, we have to shoot these scenes in the morning. And I was like, but I have the show. They're like, yo, pick something. So I think it was actually when I was doing Selena, no, it was when I was doing the movie 18 Hours, that I realized that one day I will have to pick one of these two. I can only serve them for so long. Yeah, you can only have 2 masters for a short time. Yeah, so now I'm in that phase of, as just said, I've had a great career on air. I don't regret it. Do I miss it? Not really. I don't really miss it. And the reason I don't miss it is because I'm a firm believer in things having a beginning and having an end. But if you could go back, would you change anything? Or you let everything play out the way it's played out? Is there anything you would change? Is there anything I would change? The problem is, I don't want to, because if I changed it, it would mean I would have never been on XFM. And it's because in 2012, before I moved to KISS, I was in South Africa shooting Jacob's Cross. So when that show ended, the production company were working on another show. The problem with that show was it wasn't going to be in production for like another 7 months. So they were like, I don't know, you can just go back to Kenya, and then when this show is ready, we'll call you up. But I was like, it's not a guaranteed role.
Yeah.
I was like, what if they don't call me? And then what we'll just be doing is sitting at home. I remember I sat at home for about 4 months. When I came back, then I was like, no, bro. This, just, cover your ass, just in case. So that's when I was just like, let me give that guy a call from Kiss, who one time told me they were interested. So if I had just gone with that route, I would have never been on X, and XFM was life-changing for me. Like, that is an experience I will always treasure. The cult following that we made, like how rock became such a thing for people, and there was this mentality
to the
that
point, it actually became big to the point where I went to a couple of rock gigs.
Mhm.
Even a friend of mine was a drummer in a bands.
That's what's
It became that.
right?
Became that big.
It was such a great movement. I feel so bad that the station was shut down, because it was really generating a great community for rock and a more appreciation for it. But management decisions, you can't really do anything about it. I was just an employee. So this year I have auditioned more times than I have ever in my life as an actor. I think I've gone for about 10 auditions this year, which is quite a number. And I have gotten 0.00 roles. Like, to a point I was like, maybe I'm not a good actor. What's going on? But it's also been cool because I've had time to now just practice my acting on my own, read more stuff about it, and also just mentally prepare myself. I got a role as, I can actually say this is a small role because I'm only in one scene of this new show by Enos Oleg called Famous.
Yeah, that's set to. I think it's not out yet.
Oh, it's premiered this week. So look out for one of the episodes. I don't even know which episode I'm in. All I know is that you will see someone dying in a car, and that's me. But not auditioning and not getting the call back, going to the next level. It's also, I feel like it's a humbling thing, and it also like helps you put things in perspective. Because I was so used to the few times I would audition, I would get the role. But then when I was on radio, I was auditioning like once every 2 years. I did in between Hot 96 and Kiss FM in those 10 years, between 2010 and 2019, I auditioned once for Sugar, got the role. I auditioned for Jacob's Cross, got that role. I auditioned for 18 Hours, got that, and Selena, 4 productions in over 10 years. So this is like an audition every 2 or so years. So I didn't really, you don't really feel the need to, for me anyway, I never felt the need to really push myself as an actor. I was like, the last time I went for an audition, I got the role. That was 2 years ago, sure. Going for this one, I get it too. But it's also because I didn't have that hunger as well for acting, because you get very comfortable when you have a more or less stable job, which was what radio was providing. Like every month I'm like, every month I'll still be paid. I don't have to act. I really love acting in theater, so that's what I used to find myself doing a lot of it. Because my show was in the morning. I always had time for rehearsals in the afternoon, always had time to put on a show at the theater in the evening. So now
talk to me a little bit about like stage acting, because I know that's different from being put on TV or even being on radio.
Yeah, stage acting is the most difficult one, because just of the whole workload. For TV, you just need to learn like 3 or 4 lines or a page or 2 for what you shoot, and then move on. For a play, you have to get all the lines. You have to know everything. You have to be present from the beginning of the play to the end of the play. Woe unto you if you're the lead character and you're on stage for 2 hours straight. It requires discipline of the mind. You have to be physically fit, because that stuff will take it out of you. And you're doing like 3 shows a day. So it encouraged me to gym, to do a lot of vocal training, to read a lot of plays. Because the more plays you read, the more plays you're exposed to, you start to understand why certain sentences are written the way they are in plays as opposed to in films. And then the whole movement. And I have had the privilege of doing over like 50 plays in the last, because I've been doing theatre for 16 years now. After a whole year of auditioning and not being picked, I remember the first role I got, I said to myself, this, I have to impress to the point I will never have to audition again for a play. And I did not audition for another play until 2015. For a solid 10 years, all the plays I got cast in was based on a director saying, I saw you in that play, I liked it, can you do this one? Hell yeah, let's do it. And it went on like that. The one I auditioned for in 2015 was for, because it was an outside play, it was being done in Uganda, and they wanted to make sure that the actors were of a certain kind. So, yeah.
All right. Would you ever like go into directing?
Directing, yes. Theatre plays, absolutely. I've directed.
What about TV? Like production?
TV is too technical, and that's not the reason why I don't do it. I don't do it because I haven't learned it. That's all. Like you
No,
literally.
but given the chance to do that, would you?
I would, but not in the next. Maybe not until I'm 50. Yeah, I feel like I need to do a lot of screen projects, get so used to camera angles and whatnot, and then do all the research on it, and then do it. Also, I just feel like if you're an actor, especially if you're a screen actor, man, do it for a while before you jump behind the camera. Like, I mean, some people do it and they do it well, but I just feel like a lot of people rush to it because, you know, it's better money than acting, which is strange. It's strange because that's only in Kenya. Like, it's very rare for a director to earn significantly more than an actor. But hey, this is a 254. It is what it is. But yeah, later in life, I'm not in a rush to learn to do directing for screen. For theater, at least I told myself when I was directing my first play, I had been acting on stage for 10, 12 years. 12 years, but the first one I did, 12 years of stage. And I told myself, yeah, in the 12 years, by then I'd done about, maybe I'd say I'd done maybe 48 plays. So I knew a thing or two about how to move actors on stage. And then also a good advantage was I write. So a couple of the plays I directed were plays I wrote. So I was like, imagine I'm the one who knows this thing better than you. I'm sorry, actor, but I wrote this thing. I know why I wrote this scene like this, because I wanted to capture this emotion and bring it out of this thing. And it's been beautiful. Yeah.
How did What's Good Africa come about?
What's Good Africa was pure chance. Okay, first, I don't believe in chance. I believe in providence. Things happen the way they're supposed to. What's Good Africa? I was emceeing an event, a gamers event. And it was one of those, they're called LAN parties, where people hook up and you play like for hours. So this is 18 hours. I had to psych a crowd for 18 hours from 1 p.m. until the next day, like at 5 in the morning. And the guys from What's Good Media were filming it. So the producer comes up to me and she's like, wow, it's been like 6 hours and you're really good at this hosting thing. Have you ever thought about hosting a TV show? And that was coincidentally the day after we had just wrapped shooting The Great Kenyan Bake Off, which was the first TV show I'd ever hosted. So I just told her, like, well, I've never done this before, not until like a month ago. And she's like, do you want to audition for this thing? We did a quick audition right outside. In the morning, after being on my feet for all those hours, we're like, could you just do like a short thing? Let's pretend this is a show. I did the thing. They called me a week later and they said, we have been searching for a male host for Remy for 7 months. We all sat down, we watched your tape, and we're all like, we have to go with this dude. We have to. And I was so glad because Remy is one of the few hosts I've always wanted to work with. Because I've known how we grew up together, but we didn't know each other. But we followed each other's careers. And then and I remember I've always been very apprehensive when it comes to music shows. Because a lot of music shows are basic. But I was like, this one, I was like, I like the way they shoot it. I like the idea for it. And I like the way it was very laid back. It wasn't so tell me about your life. where did you grow up and stuff like that. It was like just sitting with someone and you start talking about food, and someone will start talking about your music. Next thing we're talking about life, and I was just like, yo, this is cool, and it's been fun. It's been fun.
All right. That's cool, man. That's cool. Do you have anything you want to plug?
So right now I have a bunch of really cool things that I've been doing. One of them is a web series called This Thing Called Marriage, which is
YouTube web series?
Sorry?
YouTube.
Yes, it's on YouTube. So it's a web series about, it's so weird how life works, because it's about a couple whose marriage is on the rocks, and when I was writing it, my marriage was literally on the rocks as well. So it became a lot of, it was almost therapeutic, reflective type of stuff. So I'm looking forward to the feedback on that one.
When does it drop?
It drops on Friday, the 22nd, on my brother's birthday. So that should be fun. I've got another one that I'm still writing this one, but I'm very confident that we'll shoot it in the next few weeks. It's about a guy talking about the different dates he's been on in Nairobi. Again, sort of based on, a little bit of it is based on personal dates that I've been on, but most of the stories are just like, I have friends who have been on crazy dates, and that's like, how did you not see that this was weird? You know, Nairobi is crazy, so I'm currently writing that. I'm looking to finish it soon. I'm also writing a TV series, which is based a little bit on the corporate scene of Nairobi, and that's based on the stuff I saw working in corporates. And I was just like, this stuff would make very interesting stories. So, been doing that and looking forward to it. Yeah.
Any stage productions?
Stage productions, we have Breathe 2, Breathe 3. Wow, this is the third Breathe installation play that we're doing in November.
Yeah.
From the 5th to the 9th to the 8th. And it's a really good play. Actually, I haven't acted on stage since 2019. So this is like, for me, I'm so excited because I'm finally back on stage. COVID messed stuff up for us for a while. So I'm like, I'm so stoked. I get to get back on stage. Like, I have been learning my lines. Like, I feel like I'm back in that space in 2005 when I got that first play, when I'm just like, I have to impress myself, not other people. I have to impress myself.
So there's the hunger, the drive.
Yes.
That's very cool. That's very cool. But dude, thank you for doing this, by the way, because I always try and reach out to, well, essentially shoot my shots.
Mm-hmm.
And I was glad at least that you responded, because followed you on radio. I checked out What's Good Africa. I actually learned other shows that we will not name.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty dope. It's pretty dope.
So yeah, thank you for doing this. Thank you for agreeing to this. I know this was a free day today, this being a national holiday, but
we work all day, every day.
Yeah.
The only advantage with public holidays is after work, you won't feel as guilty just meeting up with someone for a drink, because I'm like, let me catch up. Let's see what I can do.
And obviously, you've actually struck me as someone very cool. And even your Instagram is very interesting to go through, because it's not like other celebs Instagram where it's just serious. Yeah, it's like your personality shines through, which is why XFM succeeded the way it succeeded.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. So thank you for doing this. Thank you for watching. The episode will come out soon. By the time you're watching this, it will be after Mashuja, definitely. But yeah.
And by then, this thing called Marriage will be out on YouTube, so you can just go look that out. Yeah, I hope that other one. I can't tell you the name of it because I want
you don't have to.
When it comes out, everyone will be like, "That is such a cool name. It's so cool." I pat myself on the back for that.
All right.
It's gonna be cool. It's gonna be dope.
Check out his Instagram, YouTube channel.
No, it's just easiest way to find me is on Instagram and Twitter. and it's the same one, Nick Ndeda. Not to be confused. The easiest way to know that I'm not the other Nick Ndeda, I won't be standing next to Betty Child.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. So, you know.
All right. Thank you for watching. Till the next episode. Peace.
That's right, that's right. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with me, and for that I wanna say I'm grateful.